Hello guys, my name is Mason. Welcome to another episode of Music and Vinyl Talk. I hope you'll enjoy. In this video, we dive into the wonderfully strange and unforgettable world of Tiny Tim, the ukulele-strumming falsetto singer who became a cult icon of the 1960s and beyond. With a high-pitched falsetto, a ukulele in hand, and a voice straight out of a forgotten era, Tiny Tim wasn't just a novelty. He was a musical mystery. Who was the man behind the tulips? Was he a joke or a genius? Today, we're unraveling the strange, beautiful, and unforgettable story of Tiny Tim, the singer who tiptoed into pop culture and never left. Born Herbert Boutros Khoury in 1932 in New York City, Tiny Tim was obsessed with music from a young age. Unlike other kids who listened to the latest hits, Herbert was fascinated by songs from the early 1900s. Think wax cylinder records, vaudeville ballads, and forgotten love songs from a different time. He spent hours studying music history, teaching himself to sing in a falsetto voice and strumming old tunes on a tiny ukulele. He adopted the stage name Tiny Tim as a kind of joke. He was tall, lanky, and unusual looking, making the name ironic. He performed in New York clubs and eventually caught the eye of underground artists who appreciated his oddball style and encyclopedic knowledge of music. But it wasn't until he landed a spot on national television that everything changed. In 1968, Tiny Tim appeared on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, performing Tiptoe Through the Tulips, a 1929 love song brought back to life through his eerie falsetto and quirky stage presence. America was stunned. Some people laughed, others were confused, but everyone remembered him. And when Tiny Tim married Miss Vicky live on The Tonight Show in 1969, over 40 million people tuned in. He became an instant cultural phenomenon, with appearances on talk shows, commercials, and even children's programs. Behind the eccentric image was a deeply sensitive and spiritual man. Tiny Tim was devoted to God, believed in the purity of old-fashioned love, and lived a mostly celibate, almost monk-like life, despite his fame. He collected hundreds of vintage records, studied history obsessively, and saw himself as a guardian of forgotten music. People often thought he was just playing a character, but in reality, Tiny Tim was being himself, fully, unapologetically, and honestly. That authenticity made him both enchanting and haunting. As the 1970s rolled in, public interest faded. Music changed, and Tiny Tim didn't. But he kept performing, from small clubs to carnival shows. He was never bitter, just grateful. Even in his later years, he stayed true to his music, his image, and his beliefs. In 1996, Tiny Tim collapsed on stage while performing his beloved Tiptoe Through the Tulips. He died doing what he loved, leaving behind a legacy that's still talked about today, not as a gimmick, but as a rare soul who walked through life to his own tune. Call him strange, call him sweet, call him a walking piece of the past, but Tiny Tim was real. A man out of time who never let the world change him. Whether you admire him or don't quite understand him, one thing is certain: there will never be another Tiny Tim. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into musical history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this one. And as always, listen to music every day.